by two different ways. Number one, you can use your cell phone. Okay, so open the camera app on the cell phone, but not to take a selfie picture, but to scan the QR code right here. Okay, when you scan the QR code on your camera, it will show up a link. You click on that link, and it will direct you to a box for you to enter your student ID for checking in. Okay. The second way, if you don't have a cell phone, okay, or you don't have a camera, you can just open new tab on your Safari or whatever web browser, and then you go to the link slido.com right here, and then you enter the pin right here, and it's also gonna direct you to the box for you to enter your student ID for checking in. So I will give you guys maybe 2 minutes to complete your check-in for today's lesson. Okay, I have to say that this class includes many high technology students. Yeah, you done this task very well and smoothly. Okay, so in my side, I see your student ID right here. Okay, and you just need to only put your correct student ID. You don't have to put your name. When you put your name right here, I am very appreciated, but it's kind of make it difficult for me to collect your information. So I only need your student ID like this. Okay. So I'm going to do the check-in for class at the beginning of every single class. So make sure that you participate into the activity. Okay. Make sure that you be there to participate into this activity. Okay. This is a pop-up question. During my lecture, sometimes I will have pop-up question for students to participate into my lecture. give opinion, and or maybe just to check, have a quick check on you guys to see if you understand the information that I convey. So this is an example. The question here is, what form of study do you prefer? And two options are online. Online is what we are doing right now, study through Zoom. And the second way is on offline or on campus. On campus, which means that we study face-to-face on class. For the pop-up question, I will give you guys from 1 to 2 minutes to give the answer. So you don't have to think too much. You don't have to think very carefully. Just choose the option that first comes to your mind. You can do the check-in only one time, and then all the pop-up questions are going to appear right after the check-in question. You don't have to scan the QR code again. You don't have to join the website again. During the lecture, anytime you have a question you want to ask, you have 3 ways to do it. First, you can just turn on the microphone and speak right into it. I like this way so much, yeah, because it's direct and I can give you an answer immediately right away. The second way, you can input your question into the chat box, and when I see it, I can also give you a reply. The third way, you can click on the raised hand icon, okay? And then I will call your name and give you the chance to express your question. Okay, so let's see the answer for this pop-up question. Okay, I can tell here maybe 80% of the students prefer to study online. I want to know the reason. I remember that at the beginning of the pandemic, when the school want to transfer from offline to online study, a lot of people and a lot of students objected. Yeah, they say that, oh, I pay so much money. I pay money to study on campus, but now you make me to study online. That is unfair. Maybe you have to reduce the tuition. But then you know, reduce the tuition is an impossible task. You can, because all the teachers and all the employees at the university, they have to do the same work, or sometimes they have to do extra work because now they have to learn how to teach online. They have to do extra work, so we cannot reduce their income, and it's impossible to reduce the tuition. And people seems very unhappy, but they have to accept the situation. But then 1 year later, it seems like they change their mind. They no longer want to go to university and study on campus anymore. And they are happy with the current situation of studying online. So I want to know, what is the reason that you prefer to study online? Can somebody share with me your opinion? Okay. Phương Nhi, don't have to wear makeup on and go out. Okay. So before you go to class, usually you, as a girl and a woman, we have to spend a lot of time to prepare ourselves. Now we don't have to do it anymore. What else? It's very cold, so you don't want to go out. Maybe it's cold. It's cold in the weather, but when you see your friends, it's gonna be warm in the hot. Okay. Okay, so they see that you say that you hit the traffic jam. So if studying online, you don't have to go through the traffic jam to go to school. Okay, so many costs you have to pay: transport, renting, time. You save a lot of money and time by studying online. Okay, so many reasons that we want to study online. We get used to it, and then now we cannot live without it. However, as the university has announced, after 2 weeks of studying online, we are going to come back to the normal situation. Yeah, we come back on campus and studying face to face, and have real interaction with people instead of the computer. So let's look at the good side. Yeah, relationship is also a very important part of our life, and relationship can only be built with direct interaction. So come back on campus will be a shock for us at first, just like the beginning of the pandemic when we have to get used to the online situation. But then we will get used to it, and maybe a year later in 2023, you would prefer study online over. You will prefer study on campus over online. I believe so. Okay, so before jumping in the main content of today's lecture, I would like to spend some time to give you guys a very quick introduction about myself, so you know who your lecturer is and why she is able to teach this course. And as you guys have already know, my full name is Mai Ngọc Chuan. Mai is my first name, and I prefer people to call me Miss Mai. And currently I'm teaching 4 subjects: international business environment, international business strategy, international finance, and business ethics. And actually, business ethics, this is the first time I teach business ethics. I love this subject so much, and just until now I got the chance to teach it. I'm very excited, but also a little bit nervous. I come from the international business faculty, and I teach 4 subjects in English. All 4 subjects in English. I have been to many different schools before over the world, and I want to give you guys a quick history of the schools I've been to. Okay, so on 2009, 11 years ago, when I was 17, I was in 11th grade. One day, my mom came home and asked me whether or not I want to go to study abroad. And going study abroad was always my dream since I was a little girl. So I said yes immediately. And then she sent me to an exchange program. Do anybody know what is an exchange program? Okay, thanks so much for your comment. Okay, Bùi Thị Hiền, thank you. Okay, How can I turn it off? Okay, I'm gonna show this one. Okay, who knows what is exchange program is? Have you ever heard about it?
Yes.
Okay, tell me. Vân Anh nào.
I think a student exchange program is a program in which student from a school, a secondary school, a high school, or university study abroad at one their institutions, partner institutions. And a student exchange program may involve international travel, but that not necessarily require the student to study outside their home country.
Okay, so it's simply that exchange program allows students in different country can transfer to study in another school in a different country and have the student from that country and that school to come and study in our school in our country. So I was sent to study in the Concordia High School in the US. Let me show you. So this is my high school. It is a private and a religious high school. It says it has only 200 students from 6th grade to 12th grade. So in each grade there is only 20 students in each grade. So very small school. And this is a religious school. Do you know what is a religious school? Do you know what is a religious school?
What is mean? We don't know.
Okay. Religious school. It is a school that not only study formal subject, but they also study Bible. Bible mean
tôn giáo.
Yes, exactly. Even though I am a person with no religion, but then when I attend the program, I have to study Bible because this is an cultural exchange program. Yeah. And I believe that 70% of American are Catholic. Yeah, 70% of American, they believe in Jesus. And they study the Bible. So when I study Bible, I can know about the culture and the values of American. So it's very interesting. And then after I graduate, I continue my study in University of Nebraska at Omaha, USA. Okay, so this is my university. It is in Nebraska State. So let's look at the map. You guys study in the CDU program, and as I know, CDU is Seattle, right? What state? What state is CDU belong to? Anybody know?
Cô ơi, bọn em nghe không rõ, bên cậu hơi ồn.
Oh, sorry. What state? What state?
Cô có thể ấy nó một chút lại thì nó đang bị lỗi mạng sao? Ok. Okay chưa? Hello.
Okay, can you hear me now? What state does CDU belong to? I think the internet.
I know.
Okay, what is that?
The state located in the north of origin, near border with Canada, Washington.
Washington.
Is in not origin.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So this is where CDUs belong to, Washington State, right underneath Canada. Yeah, and this is my university, Nebraska. My university in the middle west of US, and this is north of US, so kind of far away. And in our class, anybody invest in the stock market?
For what?
Có không nhỉ? Yes or no? I think probably yes, because stock market investing is very popular nowadays. Okay, so do you know who is the most famous investor in the world? Anybody know? Give me the name.
Maybe Warren Buffett.
Exactly, Warren Buffett. And you can see right here, his home is actually in Omaha, next to my university. And he actually comes to my university to have speech sometime. Yeah. He also have a scholarship, sponsor for a scholarship in my university. And his house is right next to my university. So every time when I go to school, I take the extra mile to pass by his house just to get inspiration to work hard and become rich. And his house is actually very simple, very small. He has a very small house right here. And he drives a very medium car, Lincoln car, so it's not very expensive. And he told people that's the reason that he can sustain his wealth for so long, remain as one of the richest people in the world, because he knows how to save money. Not only to invest, but to save is also a very important principle. Okay, so on 2011, I took another exchange program to Austria. Do you know where is Austria?
Near Germany.
Germany, yeah. Okay, so a lot of people confuse between Austria and Australia.
It's Australia.
They are two different countries in two different continents. So anybody know what is famous in Austria?
Mozart and maybe musical instrument.
Yeah, exactly. Mozart was born in Austria, very famous. So I been there for a month to study international business. It was a great experience, and I encourage you guys, if you have chance to be in an exchange program, then you definitely should. So in 2012, when I graduated university, I came back to Vietnam, and I tried different positions in working at the bank and working in international corporation. But then I realized I'm not suitable for 9-to-5 job. I'm not suitable for the job that's sitting in the office all day. So I quit and I applied to banking academy and become a lecturer. On 2015, I traveled again to UK to get my master degree. This time I get to stay in the capital of England. A very crowded city. It's totally different from the city that I stay in the US. In the US, with a very I can say that it's a very quiet city. Okay, after I get my master degree, I come back to Vietnam again. And last year, 2021, I got my PhD degree in international economics from Trade University. So I complete my studying career, and now I can totally focus on my teaching career.
Wow.
So you guys have any question for me?
You I just I like your story and
Okay, thank you very much.
Want to try it one time.
I'm sure you will be much better than me when you are at my age.
But I am not good at learning academic lectures.
Yes, it's me. The same when I was at your age, I was not a very good student. I'm so afraid to go to school.
And another question, you read Bible and you have some, you can remember it or not?
Yes, I studied Bible for a year. And I remember actually Bible is like philosophy, you know. It teaches you how to behave in life, what to believe, what is the value that you should trust when you make decision and when you treat people. So I think some of the thing that is very good in Bible, and I do take it with me in the decision I make in my life.
You used to live in dormitory in high school or university with foreigner students?
So in 2009, when I go on an exchange program, there is a host family. So an American host family, they adopt me, which means that they let me to live in their house for free. They supply me food, place to stay, and they treat me like their daughter. And I call them mom, dad, sister, and brother. And I still keep contact with them until now. Very good people.
Oh,
yeah. And when I go to university, I stay at the dorm with people from so many different countries: Chinese, American, Japanese. But then so at first I stay with foreigner, but then later I realized that I want somebody from the same country as me, so we can share our emotion and feeling and stories. So I gather with some Vietnamese friends and stay with them.
Oh, like it.
Okay, so you can see that I have been to several countries. Actually, I have been to more than 20 countries in the world, and I have been to several different universities, and I also have experience in applying to go study abroad. So in our class, if anybody planning to study abroad later on, you can come up to me anytime. I will be happy to support you, give you advice, and give you support in your application. So just so you know. Next, you can reach me through several different ways. First, you can inbox me on Facebook anytime, and I will reply you right away. Or you can shoot me an email to my email address, or you can text me or call me to my phone number. Okay? I am considering myself as a very high technology person, so I can get right away back to you within an hour, and I will reply to the message. I believe right away, anytime, no matter day or night. Okay, so all of this information I will send to you. I will send to our Google Classroom tonight. So don't worry, you don't have to take picture, or you don't have to write it down. I will send all to you. Okay, next we come to the most exciting part of our lecture. We discover about the course, what this is all about, and how are we going to study in the next few weeks. So first of all is the course description. Okay, so many words right here. You can spend some time to read it. 1 minute to read it for yourself. Okay, so as you read, you have an overall understanding of the cost. And in here, I just want to point out some highlights. Okay, in here, I see that the course is going to provide us an examination of significant ethical issues. So in our course, we are going to look at many different ethical issues, and we're going to discuss about it. And in here we have the keyword ethical dilemmas. So do anybody know what is dilemmas? What is dilemmas?
Difficult case to
Okay, keep going.
I think so.
Okay, very good. So dilemma is difficult cases. Okay, can somebody has anything added to this? Okay. Dilemmas is a situation that is very difficult to solve. The situation that you are so struggling with, you don't know what to do. Okay. You cannot do this, you cannot do that, you are stuck. So that is a dilemma. In our life, we will sometimes get involved in the dilemmas, and you don't know what to do, but you have to make decision. You have to make decision. You have to choose. So in our course, we will discuss about some decision-making framework, which means that the theories, the philosophies that we can base on in order to produce a decision. Yeah. So that is the most important part of our course. Second, here we have keyword critical thinking. What is critical thinking? Let me know. Okay. Linh Chi, are you here? Linh Chi.
Yes.
What do you think about critical thinking? No idea. It's okay. Totally fine. Okay, tell me.
Critical thinking is the intellectually disciplined process of actively and skillfully conceptualizing, applying, analyzing, and or evaluating.
Okay, very good. Okay, but in the simplest way that we can define critical thinking, yeah. It is when we see an issue or when we see a problem, we analyze it. Yeah, but we not see that problem from our own personal point of view. Yeah, when we face the problem, usually people wanna concentrate, wanna focus on their own perspective, and they think that their perspective is the correct one, is the only correct one, and everybody else's view is wrong. Okay. They deny, they refuse other view, and they just focus on their view. Critical thinking is different. It means that you not only consider your own view, but you also consider other people's view, even though it's different. It contrasts with your view, but you also consider their view. You take into account their view. So you look at an issue from multiple different views, and then you make decision not based on the feeling, not based on the own understanding, not based on the own perspective, but you make decision based on theoretical foundation. Make decision based on multiple perspective decision foundation, so that your decision will be the most moral way, yeah, the most moral decision, the fairest decision, the decision that everybody going to agree with, and that is the critical thinking. Yeah. You make decision based on reasonable evidence, and you take everybody's view and perspective into consideration rather than just focusing on your own. Yeah. Okay, so you can see that our course is all about we're looking at dilemmas, looking at situations that are difficult to solve, and then we solve it with careful consideration, with considering multiple perspectives. Our course, we have one core textbook, Business Ethics, Concepts and Case. This is the textbook that we are going to study all the concepts and theoretical theories from this textbook. We also have a supplementary reading, which is the Business Ethics, Ethical Decision Making and Case. And this reading mostly focuses on real life case studies. So sometimes we are going to take out the case study from this book and discuss it in class. Okay, I will let you guys see the textbook. I will also upload all the information about related to our course tonight to your Google Classroom. Okay. So it is a textbook, Business Ethics, Concept and Case, 8th edition. Right now, I believe it has already updated to 9th edition, but I can only get access to the 8th edition. And it has in total 8 chapters. Chapter number 1, Ethics and Business. It's gonna give us the overview of the business ethics, okay? The problems, the issues, the dilemmas, the concepts. And to the second chapter, Ethical Principles in Business. It is going to introduce us with different theoreticals and principles that we can base on in order to solve the dilemmas. And next, from chapter 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8, it is all about applying ethical reasoning, business ethics into different situations, into different aspects. For example, chapter 5, we talk about applying ethics in the environment. Okay. The most important task of corporation is to make money, to make profit. But sometimes making profit is also know that you have to trade off the environment. So what is the ethic with the environment? So we are going to analyze the ethics with the environment in that case. And then, for example, like chapter number 6, ethics, applying ethics in marketing. Right now, a lot of corporation, because of profit, they create the marketing that deceive the customer, that lies to the customer. It is also considered as an unethical behavior. So we are also going to look at some issues related to marketing, and we are going to analyze the ethical behavior of that companies. So this is a very easy to read book, I believe, and also it has a lot of real life case study that we find very closely to us. Next, we have some outcome. Okay, so we are going to achieve several objectives through studying this course. The first one would be, after studying this course, you will be able to understand the nature of business ethics and the importance of moral reasoning and moral decision making in business ethics. So you will be able to identify ethical situation in your life. You will know what is an ethical decision, what is an dilemma in your life, yeah, and how can you come up with moral reasoning in order to support for your decision in the most ethical way. The second objective would be you would be able to demonstrate an understanding of key ethical principles and philosophies and the importance of ethical behavior in the business world. Yeah. You will be able to use theories and principles and philosophies in order to support for your decision-making process. Next, you will be able to apply critical thinking skills to evaluate ethical issues and conflicts in the corporate world and arrive at a measure to resolve them. you will be able to use critical thinking to in order to support your decision making process. Next, you will have chance to apply ethical theory to real life business situations and to make rational decisions. What is rational? Rational, which means the best, the most interest decision, the best decision at that time, at that context. And last one, you're going to demonstrate effective oral and written communication to respond to ethical issues. Course grading, yeah. The grade structure is probably similar to any courses that you have already or currently taking. I have 10% for participation, and the participation come from the checking in activity at the beginning of every single class. And then I have 20% for midterm test. The midterm test is going to be a very similar test to the final exam, or I can say that it's going to be a mini exam, yeah. So that it gives you guys a heads up, give you guys a practice for the final exam. And then 20% for presentation. In our course, you are going to work as a group and prepare a solution for a real life case study, a real life dilemmas. Yeah. And you are going to use all the theories, the concepts, the reasoning that I teach you. You want to apply those into solving the real life case study. So very interesting. How can you apply what you learned into real practice? And then we have 50% for the final exam. Besides the grading like this, I also have extra credit that can give you guys opportunity to increase your score. Extra credit come from different sources. It can come from the activity that I bring up during class. Yeah, it can come from the participant, the contribution that you make during my lecture. For example, that you raise your hand and you express your opinion is also a way of contributing to my lecture, and I also give you extra credit for that. And each lecture you can get a maximum of 1 extra credit point. So at the end of the course, if you have so many extra credit points, then you can convert it into your score. For example, 1 extra credit will equal 1 participation score. Yeah. So if you miss 1 class, you can make it up by raise your hand and answer the question or express your idea. Yeah. And then 3 extra credit will equal 1 midterm score. Yeah. So until this point, do you have any question for me? Or you understand everything? Everything is crystal clear. Any question for me? Okay, so I understand that silence means agreement. And I will continue my lecture. In my course, you will have some case studies from global business to work on. I will require you to read the case study before class time in order for us to discuss it effectively. And then we have lectures, which mean I convey information to you. And then we have discussion, class discussion, and then small group discussion. We also want to have weekly written assignments and quizzes for extra credit. It's not required, but if you do it, it's very good for you. It helps you to understand the content thoroughly, and also it gives you extra credits. So you should definitely do it. And if participate in every single lecture and you do all the activities raised by me, then I am sure that you will get really high score in this course. Okay. Next, I would want to know a little bit more about the monitor.
Hi, I'm monitor. I'm Vân Anh, and I'm
Okay, since you are a very important person, can you turn on the camera so I can see you?
yes.
Thank you. Okay, so for the monitor, I will need your help as an assistant for me, because
Yes.
there are so many works to do to run the class. So I need somebody to share the responsibility with me, and I will need you to help me with the score recording score.
Yes.
So example, like in our class, I'm gonna have extra credit for students who speak up in the class. So I will
Yes.
need you to take note of those who speak in the lecture. And I also have the attendance score. So I will send you the data. So you make sure that you take note who is go to class, who is not. And also when I score the midterm and then the group work, I will also need you to help me to record the score.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will do it well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, and if the class has any issue that they feel like they cannot speak directly to me, then maybe you are going to present and maybe tell me the issues, or maybe if you want some change in my lecture, if you want some change, you can suggest me, you can recommend me.
Yes.
Okay, that's all. Thank you. And next, I'm going to divide the class into small group, because our lecture has so many case study that we have to work on in small group. And I think the right size for group should be from 4 to 5, which means that the minimum numbers of people in your group should be 4, and maximum should be 5. Usually if we meet directly in the classroom, I will give you guys some time to go and find your teammates. However, as we studying online, I think it's very difficult to do this activity. So Vanan, can you suggest me a way to divide the students into small group?
I think people in our class can choose by themselves, and they will tell me and they will tell us about their group.
Okay. So you think should we do it right now, or should we do this activity at home?
I think now okay.
We can do right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So everyone else agree with this activities that you are going to form into small group right now? if you have any opinion, just speak up. Okay, so I think this activity you guys can do it at home. Okay, just to make sure that on the next lecture is due on Thursday. Okay, so on Thursday, make sure that you have completed your group. Okay, from 4 to 5 teammates, and you need to have one team leader, and you have to have one English name for your group. Okay, and that's all. And you send all the information to the monitor. And you create a mutual platform for your group members. So when I give you guys the question to discuss in group, you can discuss with each other as the group, and then give me the answer later. Okay, you understand?
Yes.
Okay, so now we move on to a very interesting part. I cannot wait to share with you guys. Okay, so we started to learn about ethics and business. So in order to understand the concept ethics, I would give you guys one case study. This is a hypothetical case study, which means that it's not a real case study. It's just a case study that was come up with by a very famous professor. His name is Michael Sandel. This guy, very famous. He is a professor at the Harvard University, and he teach philosophy. Yeah. And this case study is created by him. If you like this subject and you want to learn more about it at a higher level, you can go to his website. He offers some free courses related to ethics, to philosophy, and he also has a very famous book that was translated to Vietnamese. Like, what is the right thing to do? You can, if you want to expand your understanding, then you definitely should buy this book. I bought this book, but I haven't finished reading it yet. I try to, but I have no time. Okay, so what is the case study is about? Okay, as you can see right here, the case study name, the trolley problem, the runaway trolley. So what is a trolley? Anybody know? What is a trolley? You can speak to the microphone or you can raise your hand. Okay, so the trolley right here, as you can see, this looks like a train, right? Trolley means something, a vehicle that has the wheel that run on the track. The wheel that run on the track. So train is one kind of trolley. Yeah. So as you see in the picture right here, this one is also presented on YouTube. So you can go to YouTube and you search the trolley problem. they will give you very detailed information related to this case. But they also give out the answer, so I don't want to show that video with the class, but I want to explain it by myself. So there is a trolley car running on the track, and suppose you are the driver of that trolley, yeah, and you see that in the end of the track there are 5 workers working, and your brakes, the brakes that stop the trolley, it doesn't work, it's not working. Okay, so you are nervous, you cannot stop the trolley. Okay? And if you do nothing, the trolley is going to crash into the 5 workers and they will all die. You are very nervous, you feel helpless, and then you realize that next to the main track there is a side track. This is a side track, okay? And even though your brake doesn't work, but your steering wheel is working. What is the steering wheel? It is the wheel that you steer it. You're steering it. It will turn to the side track. And at the end of the side track, there is only one worker working. There is only one worker working at the side track. So this is the dilemma, right? This is a very difficult situation. What are you going to do? What is the right thing to do in this case? You just let the trolley go straight ahead and crash and kill the 5 workers, or will you steering the wheel, turn the trolley to the side track and kill 1 worker? What should you do? So I let you vote. What is the right thing to do? How should we vote? Okay. So I let you vote. The same screen with the checking in activities, you can open it, and this poll already appear, and you just pick the decision that you think is right. And you should think carefully. You should think very carefully. This is not a decision for fun. It's not a decision for yourself, but you have to think it further. You are going to be the lawmaker. You have to come up with a decision that is good for everyone, that you believe that everyone should follow that philosophy, that decision. Okay, let's look at the results. What is the right thing to do? So it's very closely, the two options are very closely to each other. Option number 1, turn the side track, takes the majority, takes the dominance. So most students choose to turn the side track. They choose to kill one worker instead of 5. Or in another way of saying that, they choose to save 5 and kill 1. Why do you choose this decision? Can somebody share with me the reason that you choose option number 1?
I want to minimize the number of casualties.
Okay. So the reason that you choose option number 1 because you want to minimize the deaths, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How's about the people that choose option number 2? Go straight ahead. Can you explain to me your reasoning? It's okay. In my lecture, there is no right and no wrong answer. It's just an opinion. Okay, why do you choose to go straight ahead? Or in another way of saying that, you choose to do nothing. Just let it be. Let it be. Okay. Anyone want to share? Okay, I'm listening.
When if the only person in the in the right side were my relatives, I I would like I would be prioritize my relatives and choose to go ahead.
Okay, what if that was a stranger? That was a very old one.
I will choose randomly because
Okay. You just choose randomly. You have no
if I have the chance, I will do anything else to save all of them. But if I have but the break was broken, so maybe maybe choose maybe the decision could be decided by the God.
Okay. So let me remind all of you again that the reason that why we investigate this case is because we want to find the principle lying behind our decision. What motivates us to choose what we choose?
In
And
my
okay.
In my opinion, in the normal life, we will choose save 5 people instead of choose 1. But in business, I will choose go straight ahead to more safety and don't work too hard. In my opinion.
Okay, very interesting. So you think that in real life you will save 5 people? You will try to save the most people, but in this case you choose to save your interest, and you choose to not do anything, right?
All right.
Okay. So
don't mean do anything. I mean it's easy to go.
So you just go straight ahead.
Right.
Okay, the reason why we try to investigate this case is because we want to find the underlying principle behind our decision, right? And maybe we will find a good principle that is good enough, that is can become the universal principle. What is the universal principle? That is the principle that can apply for everyone, and if everyone do the same, it will bring the best interest for everybody in the world. Yeah. Because if we have no principle in our life, we just do everything randomly. If only you make random decision, it's fine. But if the whole world, 7 million people make random decision in their life, it will become a mess. Yeah. And as the lawmaker, we need to come up with principle that is good enough so that everybody can follow, and this will bring the best results for everyone. So after this case, I can sum up that most people choose to turn the sidetrack because they look at the consequences. Okay, the first option, what is the consequence of the first option? 5 people lie, 5 people live, and 1 die, versus the second option, 5 people die and 1 live. So we just choose the one that has the most optimistic results, the one that has the least people die and the most people live. So we choose the option number 1. The way of thinking like this, the way of looking at the consequences, is also a very famous principle. We look at the consequences to make our decision. Okay. So let's look at another example. Okay, let's look at another example. Okay. This time you know you are no longer a driver. Okay, this time you are this guy. You are this guy. Okay. And this guy is a bystander, a pedestrian, an onlooker. So he is standing on the bridge across the track, and you standing on the bridge, and you observe everything. You see that there is a trolley out of control. It is running and it is going to crash into the 5 workers and kill them all. You are very panicked. You feel helpless. You try all the way to stop the trolley, but it is impossible. And then standing next to you is a very fat man, and you can just tap very gently on his back, and he's going to fall over the bridge, and he's gonna crash right at the track. Yeah, he will die, but he will stop the trolley and save the 5. So you understand the situation. And the question here is, would you do that? Would you would you push the fat man to step 5 and Q1? Okay, and let you vote again. What is the right thing to do in this case? Okay, let's look at the result for this case. Okay, in this case, the majority choose to do nothing. Okay, so in another way of saying that, you choose to Q 5 instead of 1. Okay. So as we can see that in the first case, you choose to set 5, even if it means that you have to sacrifice 1. But in the second case, you change your mind. In the second case, you choose to kill to let the 5 people die. So why? What happened here? What is the underlying reason that makes you change your mind? Anybody has anything to share with me? Why it is okay in the first case to kill 5? In the first case to kill 1 to save the 5, but in the second case it's not okay to kill 1 and save 5. Okay, you have to think about your decision making. When you make your decision, what is the thing that stop you? What is the thing? Okay, tell me please.
If I follow the fairness and practically of the laws, I choose to do nothing. So because let's change to 5 workers and do not steer or push anyone off the rails, because if 5 worker dies, it was an accident. However, if a worker death, so it's a murder. So everyone's life is the same. So no individual has the right to decide which life is more valuable or worth saving, or that killing one's life save many others.
Okay, very good. So what did you choose in the first case? Anh Chi?
I choose do nothing.
In the first case. In the first case, this one. Did you choose?
I choose go straight ahead.
So you that go with the flow in the two situation. Okay, so if you are the president of a country, if you are the world lawmaker, you would advise the resident that if you are in any situation, just follow it, let it be. Don't try to change it. Right? Is that what you want to? Is that what you want the world to be? That accept the situation and follow it. That would be the message for the world, right? Okay, I want to hear another voice from the students. Who? Trịnh Trung Kiên nào? Kiên.
Em đây ạ.
Hello. Okay, what did you choose in the first case? And what did you choose in the second case?
So in the first case thì
The first case. Okay, here the first case. The first case. Do you want to turn to the side track and kill one person, or You do nothing and just run into the fire worker and kill the fire worker. You are the driver.
So in this case, I don't know. The single man is have contributed into the economic. So I'm gonna to minimize the debt. So I'm gonna turn to the single man.
Okay. So you choose to turn to the side track and kill one person in order to save 5.
Yes.
Okay. What about the second case? You push the fat man to stop the trolley and save 5, or you just let it be. Let the trolley kill 5 workers. This is very difficult to decide because it's dilemmas. But you have to make the decision. Would you push the fat man?
So in this case, I think the fat man is not deserve to die because he has his own line. So
Okay, very good. So what if this is not a fat man, but a person that got the cancer and can only live for 1 month?
So I'm not put him down, but he can volunteer and jump down. I think, but I still not push him
because
I cannot impact on his own line.
Okay, very good. So now we move to another example, another case study, the last case study. This one I don't have a picture to illustrate for the story, so I just wanna write down here. So imagine this time you are not the driver anymore, but you are a doctor. You are a transplant surgeon. What is a transplant surgeon? Anybody know? What is a transplant surgeon? Cụ thể, here we have organ transplant surgeon. You know what is organ, right?
Yes.
Organ is different part inside the body. Okay, an organ transplant which mean that some part in the body is not working, so you need somebody to donate their part of the body, so you can transplant it into your body and you can continue your life. So this time you are a doctor, you are an organ transplant surgeon, and you have 5 patients. The first one is in need of a heart. The second one is in need of a lung. The third one is in need of a liver. The fourth one is in need of of a kidney. And the last one is in need of the pancreas. So you have 5 patients and each need an organ, a different type of organ. Yeah. And currently there are no donors. And you are about to see them dying. You are very sad, very desperate. You feel helpless. Your responsibility to save the patients, but you cannot do anything right now. Yeah. But then you see one man go to the hospital for a checkup, checking his health, and he is sleeping in the next room. So you have one idea. You can secretly, quietly sneak into the next room and take away his organ, take away his heart, take away his lung, take away his liver, take away his kidney, and take away his pancreas. That person would die, but then you can save your 5 patients. Would you do that? Would you do it? You kill one to save 5 in this case. Okay, anybody want to share their opinion?
I guess people have equal rights, so we should not sacrifice one to save other 5, because people we should not to use human beings as a means to save others.
Okay. Very good. So we can draw some principles from the example that we just discussed. Okay. In the first example, we come up with a conclusion that the right thing to do is to kill one to save 5, because we're looking at the consequences. We're looking at the benefits over the cost. The benefit here is 5 people is being saved, and the cost here is 1 people died. But in the second case and in the third case, you change your mind, because these 2 cases involve in the situation that you have to kill 1 human. Yeah. And we hesitate to kill 1 human because it make us nervous. Okay, if we can kill somebody, and if killing is the right thing to do, then what if somebody kill us? What if somebody kill me? What would be the right thing to do? Okay, this example, I would refer to another example. Do you know Hitler? Yes or no?
Yes.
You know, yes, Hitler is a very evil man. He killed so many Jewish people, right? So if one person kill Hitler in order to save so many Jewish people, should that person be put into jail for killing Hitler? What do you think? What do you think? A person killed Hitler in order to save many Jewish people. Would he be accused as a murder? Okay, it's very difficult to say, right? Somebody say that he's a hero. He saved the world. He saved so many people. He's the hero. But somebody else say that, oh, killing is killing, murder is murder. Yeah, if he kill a person, then he's a murder and he have to be punished. So when kill one human, in one perspective, you violate the person's right. If you remember, Uncle Ho said in his speech that as a human, we have certain rights that can't be violated. We have the right to live, the right to work, the right to pursue happiness. So as the human, we have rights that this cannot violate. We cannot kill people, and therefore the people cannot kill us. So when we analyze one case, you see that we can look from two different perspectives. Yeah. In here, we look at the consequences to make the decision. Yeah. In this case, we look at the human rights to make the decision. Yeah. If we respect human rights, we would choose to do nothing. We would choose to not violate the human rights. And the right thing to do is to do whatever is good, but not to violate the human rights. In the first case, we just look at the consequences. We don't care about anything else. We just do what is the best, what is the most benefit, and what is the least cost. So let's give you the idea of our causes. Yeah, we have to analyze the case from many different perspectives. In here, I introduce you two perspectives, but we have even more principle and more perspective than that you should take into consideration in order to draw the most reasonable decision making. Okay, so next I'm going to share with you the syllabus of our course. I'm going to send all this stuff to you tonight. Okay, here I have the teaching plan in detail. Yeah, as you can see right here, from week 1 to week 4, so the whole month, we will spend the whole month to discuss very carefully chapter 1 of the book in order to understand the nature of business ethics and the importance of moral reasoning and moral decision makings in business ethics. So you will be able to identify what is business ethics, what is an ethical situation. You will identify the ethical situation, and then you use moral reasoning to analyze that situation. And your moral reasoning must be based on different fundamentals. For example, in the first case, my moral reasoning is to look at the consequences. I choose the consequences that bring the most benefit and the least cost. Right? Or in the second case, my moral reasoning is the human rights. I choose to protect the human rights over anything else. So that is my moral reasoning. And how we use that moral reasoning to support our decision making. It's not a random decision making. It's not the decision making that I just come up with. It is the decision making that is made based on a very careful consideration. And that careful consideration decision making is called moral decision making. Okay, so in the first chapter we learn about different terms in the subject, and we learn about what is moral, what is ethic, what is moral reasoning. Okay. And we also gonna discuss so many case study. Okay. So maybe homework for tonight. First you will look at the case, this case for me. Returning to BF Woodridge. I will also make a note on Google Classroom to make sure you not forget. You will read ahead of time for me the case returning to BF Woodridge. So in the next class we can discuss together. Okay, and then I want you to define what is ethic, what is moral, and what is the differences between ethics and moral. Because moral and ethics, when the first time I hear these two words, I think they are the same. I think they are maybe the synonyms of each other, but then they are totally different. They are totally different idea, different concept. Yeah. And you are going to do research and going to distinguish these two terms for me. Okay. And the following month we spend another whole month to learning the second chapter, chapter number 2. In chapter number 2 we learn about key ethical principles. What is the most important ethical principles in the world? And what is the most popular one in the world that people are using right now? We are going to learn all of those. Yeah. And then we learn about the philosophies, ethical philosophies, who are the most famous ethical philosophers in the world. We are going to get to know them, and we are going to get to know their work, what the theories that they come up with, and how can we apply their theories into our decision making. Okay? And the importance of ethical behavior in the business world. We're also gonna apply critical thinking skills to evaluate ethical issues and conflicts in the corporate world and arrive at measures to resolve them. We have to use different theories, different foundations, different philosophies to investigate one case, and we are going to evaluate each and every one principles in order to choose the one and only optimal one, the best one. So in here you can see that we have very many different principles. The first one is utilitarianism. This one is the one that we use in the first case. Utilitarianism, looking at the consequences, weighting cost over benefits, and they make decision based on the consequences. They choose the option that bring the most benefits and the least cost. In the next principle is rights and duties. They're looking at the rights that humans have. This is applied for the second case, and for the third case, we're looking at the rights, human rights, and we protect and we prioritize the human rights over everything else. The third one is justice and fairness. In here we care about what is the justice, what is the right thing to do for the right people. How do we punish how do we punish the wrong behavior? How do we compensate the people that get hurt in a fair way? How do we distribute the resources over residents, over humans, over citizens? And the last one is ethics of care. You choose to kill one and step 5. It is a result of the first of the weighting cost and benefits. But what if the person, like one of the students said, the person on the side track is not a stranger, but he is a dad, right? Would you, if you decide to turn to the side track, kill your dad, the step 5, okay? Or in the second, or in the second case, or in the last case, one of 5 patients are your relative, your sister, brother, mom, dad, grandma. Each of them So we have 4 philosophies that we can use to analyze cases. And then we wanna go into integrating these 4 principles in analyzing one case. So I want to give you each group 1 project, 1 real life case studies, 1 real life dilemmas, and you're going to use these 4 principles to analyze that case. You are going to look at that case from 4 different perspectives, and you are going to evaluate each perspective and choose the one that is the most optimal. Yeah. So from week 9 to 11, it's gonna be the time for you to work as a group and then present the finding of your group. Yeah. In here I have 16 different case study from the book for you to choose from, so you can have a look at this case study. Okay, so that's all I got for today. Do you have any question for me?
No.
Okay, if you don't have question for me, then I think it will be the end of our lecture, and I will see everyone again on Thursday.
Em thưa cô,
Okay.
Cô có gửi slide trước không ạ? Tại vì kiểu môn nào cũng sẽ có từ mới ạ. Không thể đến tiết mới bắt đầu ngồi tra từ mới được.
Chính xác. Thế thì cô sẽ gửi cho các bạn một cái gọi là cái slide tiêu chuẩn. Một cái slide tiêu chuẩn của môn học này. Đấy. Tuy nhiên là cái slide của cô thì cô sẽ phải thêm vào một số những cái yếu tố khác để nó phục vụ cho cái vấn đề truyền tải của cô ấy. Thì cái slide đấy cô sẽ gửi vào cuối buổi học. Còn buổi tối nay thì cô sẽ gửi toàn bộ syllabus và slide tiêu chuẩn kia cộng với cả giáo trình cho các bạn.
Em thưa cô là các bạn có hỏi là một nhóm 6 người có được không ạ?
Lớp mình là có khoảng bao nhiêu bạn nhỉ? 31 bạn. Thế là còn chưa đi đủ. Ok, thế thì một nhóm sẽ từ 5 đến 6 bạn nhé.
Vâng ạ.
Tối thiểu là 5 bạn và tối đa là 6 bạn.
Dạ vâng ạ.
Ok. Anything else? Ok, bye bye and see you again.
Cô ơi, một nhóm phải từ 4 đến 6 bạn chứ ạ?
Đúng rồi, cô nhầm đấy, nói nhầm đấy, từ 4 đến 6 bạn nhá.
Vâng ạ.
Các bạn tự chọn thành viên trong nhóm mình và đăng ký với lớp trưởng nhá.
Vâng ạ.
Lưu ý phải có trưởng nhóm mà phải có tên nhóm.
Vâng ạ.
Và đầu buổi sau phải có. Ok nhá, bye bye các em.
Nhiều cô ạ.